In the unrelenting chaos of modern life, your mind is a battleground. It's a digital storm, a constant low-grade hum of anxiety, fueled by an endless barrage of notifications, looming deadlines, and a sprawling to-do list that pulls your focus into 1,000 scattered fragments. Every ping, every email, every fleeting thought is a tiny paper cut on your attention, leaving you drained and fragmented. We're told to fight back. We download the productivity apps, we try the life hacks, we attempt to build higher walls around our concentration, forcing our minds into submission. But this constant fight is exhausting. It's a war against our own nature. What if the battle itself is the problem? What if the solution wasn't another modern trick, but an ancient, profound secret? A timeless method designed not to fight the mind, but to harmonize with it. A path to silence the external chaos by first cultivating internal peace. This is the Lotus Method, an unbreakable path to focus rooted in the deepest wisdom of Eastern philosophy. To miss this is to risk remaining trapped in the exhausting cycle of distraction forever. But to understand it is to begin the transformation of your life, starting now. Meet Gohan. He is a man of immense potential, much like you. He holds clear, powerful ambitions. He dreams of building something meaningful in his career, of forging a body with strength and discipline, of being truly present with the people he loves. The blueprint for his ideal life is drawn in his mind, vivid and inspiring. Yet every time he stands at the precipice of action, an invisible force pulls him back. The blank page of his project sits open, marking him. The gym bag remains untouched by the door. Conversations with loved ones feel distant, as if he's watching them from behind a pane of glass. It's not a lack of motivation. He consumes the podcasts, reads the self-help books, and watches the motivational videos, feeling a temporary surge of inspiration. But that fire is always fleeting. Despite his best intentions, when it's time to act, his mind resists. He finds himself lost in the comfortable, numbing haze of his phone, caught in the endless, hypnotic scroll of social media, seeking a temporary escape in the fleeting fantasies of daydreaming. He feels like he's at war with himself, and no matter how much external motivation he injects, the internal resistance always wins. This isn't just Gohan's problem, it's a universal human condition. It's the paradox of the modern mind. Our brains are wired with a primal survival instinct to seek comfort, conserve energy, and avoid the discomfort of challenge. As the Buddha once said, your worst enemy cannot harm you much as your own unguarded thoughts. Gohan's own mind, in its misguided attempt to protect him, is sabotaging him. It constantly pulls him away from the meaningful, difficult path he truly desires and toward the easy, comfortable path of the moment. The ancient monks and masters understood this internal battle intimately. They knew that before you can hope to change the mind, you must first deeply understand it. And for Gohan, this is the first crucial lesson. His mind is resisting because it is wired to do so. The first step on his journey is not to fight it, but to become aware of this fundamental truth with acceptance and without judgment. Having acknowledged this internal resistance, Gohan realizes his old methods, brute force, willpower, and self-criticism, are not only failing, but are actually making the problem worse. In his search for a deeper wisdom, he stumbles upon the teachings of Lao Tzu, the ancient philosopher of Taoism. Lao Tzu speaks of Wu Wei, a principle that translates to effortless action or non-resistance. It is the art of moving with the natural current of life instead of fighting against it. One teaching resonates with a profound clarity in Gohan's mind. By letting it go, it all gets done. At first, this feels like a paradox. How can letting go lead to accomplishment? But the more he reflects, the more he understands. He imagines a powerful river. To fight against its current is to exhaust yourself in a futile struggle. But to move with it, to align your efforts with its natural direction, is to harness its immense power. He sees that his constant struggle, his internal war, has been the act of fighting the river's flow.
The Lotus Method, rooted in this philosophy, suggests the solution isn't to fight harder, but to stop fighting altogether, to find the natural flow within the effort itself. Wu Wei teaches something that feels completely counterintuitive in our productivity-obsessed world. By aligning ourselves with life's current, by accepting the nature of our minds instead of battling them, we can move forward with less effort and infinitely more power. Gohan starts to see his challenging tasks not as enemies to be conquered, but as part of the river he must learn to navigate. Gohan's journey continues, leading him to Zen Buddhism and the practice of Zazen, or sitting meditation. The idea seems simple enough, just sit in silence. But as he tries it, he discovers just how profoundly difficult it is to be still. He is so used to constant action, to the belief that doing more is always the solution, that the silence feels deafening. The moment he closes his eyes, his mind erupts in a rebellion of thoughts, a flood of anxieties, regrets, and an endless list of trivial tasks that suddenly seem urgent. But he persists. He learns from the Zen master Dogen, who taught, "If you can't find the truth right where you are, where else do you expect to find it?" Gohan realizes that true strength and clarity don't come from constant frantic forward motion, but from the deep, grounded power of stillness. Through the daily practice of Zazen, he experiences a powerful shift. Instead of feeling chaotic and scattered, his mind begins to settle, just as a lake disturbed by the wind calms when the wind ceases. In these precious moments of quiet reflection, he begins to see his challenges for what they truly are, not insurmountable obstacles designed to defeat him, but opportunities to grow. He realizes his constant anxious urge to do was what made his mind so resistant to the very tasks that mattered most. In stillness, he finds a sharpness in his thoughts, a profound clarity he had never experienced before. Gohan has learned to calm his mind through stillness and has begun to turn that newfound clarity into intentional action. But as the days and weeks pass, a new challenge arises: impatience. The results aren't coming as quickly as he'd hoped. The old frustration begins to build, and he wonders if he is doing something wrong, if this path is even working. That's when he remembers the teachings of the Eastern monks, who often spoke of the lotus flower as a symbol of enlightenment. The lotus begins its life in the dark, buried in the thick, murky mud. It grows slowly, patiently pushing its way through the resistance, unseen, until it finally emerges from the water to bloom into something of breathtaking beauty. The monks teach that the ultimate beauty of the lotus lies not just in its flower, but in its patient journey. It doesn't rush the process, it blooms in its own time when it is ready. Gohan realizes that just like the lotus, he must practice patience. Progress may be slow, but to rush it is to create resistance and choke the very growth he seeks. He learns to embrace the slowness of the journey, to trust the process. By letting go of his impatience, he finds he is more at peace with his progress, no matter how small. Like the lotus flower, he knows that his own bloom will come, but it will happen in its own time, in its own way. The art of patience becomes his final and perhaps most important lesson in mastering the mind. And with it, he feels a sense of profound calm and self-acceptance that he had never experienced before. So where are you on this journey? Are you still fighting the current, caught in the cycle of resistance? Or are you ready to embrace the Lotus Method? Start with one step, whether it's becoming aware of your mind's resistance, practicing stillness to find your inner calm, or learning to be patient with your own journey. Your growth will come, but it will unfold in its own time, in its own way. If this video has offered you a new perspective, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let's continue this journey of mastering the mind together.